Hello, yeah, my name's Stephen Wilson. I worked as a chef from well, been interested in food from a young British foodie for quite some time. Always been into food and started working as a chef from a very young age. Um, Worked in kitchens in France, worked in kitchens in Greece, then went off to study sociology at university, and sort of I've taken that, sort of combined my sociological interest with food. And so I'm here to talk about a project called the People's Kitchen, which I founded over at Passing Clouds in Dalston. Go to the next slide. So this, as you can probably see, is a massive pile of food waste. Tristram Stuart is sort of seen as the Jesus figure within the food waste movement. One of the statistics is that there's an estimated 20 million tons of food that's wasted from plough to plate every year in Britain, which is a huge, huge, huge amount of food. And that's quite a large pile. If you imagine a pile of 20 million tons, it pretty much fills football stadiums. And if you go for the next slide. That's sort of a problem that's juxtaposed with other issues like world hunger. That there's a billion people out there that are suffering from world hunger, yet we're throwing away millions and millions of tons. And so we sort of thought of that as a bit of a problem. So we wanted to. Well, it's also a problem closer to home, like perhaps closer to home than we'd like to think. That we're suffering. Like there's people around London, around the UK that are also suffering from food poverty, that aren't able to find food to put onto their plates. And so we wanted to do something about it. So we looked back to sort of traditional techniques. I'm sure if you look back to your grandparents' generations, then they wouldn't dream of throwing things away. Whereas perhaps in the last sort of 40 years of affluence, we've taken to just being a bit careless perhaps with our food and just throwing away far too much. So we decided to try and see that waste as a resource. And so we set up a project called the People's Kitchen, which is we get hold of lots of food waste from the local area, bring it together. So we get hold of food from local gardens. There's a lot of people that are starting to grow here out in London. So we go into the local growing projects, and we help them with sort of find a place, an exit strategy for their food, somewhere for it to go. So it goes to the People's Kitchen. We also work with wild food. So this is tons and tons of plums. Haggerston Park was absolutely full of plums. They're just littering the ground and providing quite a health and safety hazard, so we thought we'd better do something about it and go and pick those plums. So we got a team of us to go out to Haggerston Park, start shaking the trees, and there was just pans and bags and just obscene amounts of plums. And so we brought that back to the kitchen, made loads of chutneys, we made loads of pies, we made loads of crumbles and plum wine, and we also go out to local shops. So we've got a few local suppliers that we use over in Hackney. And we go over to them, they put aside their food for us, so we don't have to go rifling through bins, because I think a lot of people have problems with eating food that perhaps comes out of bins. So they just put aside the food that isn't good enough for them, is sort of past the point of being sellable, but is completely edible. And we bring that all along to the kitchen, we get a team of volunteers together, and we cook it up and turn it into beautiful meals that feed the community, so anyone can come down and eat. It's donations based, and we see it as using resources that are already there. There's lots of people that are interested in food out there. There's plenty of food surplus that's out there. There's, like, if you can get hold of a space and you can get some basic kitchen equipment, then we can bring people together around food. And I think that food's something that's been used, food's one of the traditional things for bringing people together. It's something that's been used for years and years and years, that's brought communities together around a table, conversations are being had. And so if there's this resource that's out there, we just want to use it, and to bring people bringing people together is one of the most important things of the response that we've got from people that come down to the kitchen. It's also about sort of educating people about food, giving people a space where they can try out new recipes, where they can share their sort of cultural recipes. We get people from all over the world, like Italians that want to sort of share their risotto dish or their gnocchi and teach other people about what food that comes from their own countries. And it's a space to sort of skill people up, to give people an environment to be able to play around with food a little bit. I feel that there's people these days, well, there's a lot of people that don't know a lot about how to cook sorry. A lot of people that wouldn't really know how to boil an egg, and so we want to provide a space for people to be able to play around with food a little bit, to be able to come down. It's a very welcoming environment that you get more skilled chefs that come down, and also have people that are a bit more advanced in the kitchen, and they can come down and sort of share their skills with other people. So we've tried to create a very welcoming space for those kind of things to happen. It's been a great success down in Dalston, and there's now sort of like a couple of People's Kitchen events that have popped up over in Oxford, over in Bath, and we're hoping that the People's Kitchen is going to start up down in Brixton within the next few months, and a People's Kitchen down in Deptford. So we ask you, yeah, please come down, check us out. At Passing Clouds, we run every Sunday from 3 p.m. If you guys want to come down, if you know of any places that have got surplus food, I'm sure there's plenty out there, then let us know. You can bring it down to the kitchen and we'll cook it up. If you want to come down and get involved with the cooking process, share your skills, come down and get involved. If you want to come down and eat, it's a donations-based meal. And it's a very healthy and nutritious one. And if you want to set up your own People's Kitchens, then check out our website or come and talk to me. We'd love to see more, and we'd love to see sort of food waste being reduced, awareness being raised about this issue of food waste, and people just being able to enjoy food more, so coming down and cooking together and eating together. Thanks very much.